Thanks for coming. I have a seat right there for you. Have a seat. Glad you have your drink and you're comfy cozy and you have a few minutes to hang out with me and talk about a murder case or two. Hi, my name is Audrey. This is my YouTube channel. I am a psychic medium. Just know that up front. So if that's not your thing, go ahead and exit. But I hope you don't exit. Just because you don't believe doesn't mean you don't have an open mind and are willing to listen. So I appreciate your time either way. Before we get started, my husband, I said, I'm going to go make a video. What does he do? He sprayed my window with a hose. Oh my God. Okay. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It's right down below. Okay, also the like button is right down below, but these are just reminders for you to do that. So like, subscribe, and share the video. Share the video. You never know whose life might change by hanging out with us, talking about different cases and spirits and all kinds of stuff. So I just did that impromptu video regarding the Idaho 4 where I was discussing the card. What was the letter C? Check out that video. I'm not going to really go into it right now, but I was reading some of the comments. And you know what? If you're not a believer in me, you can go ahead and just exit. I don't care. You can unsubscribe. Don't threaten me. Don't threaten me that you're going to unsubscribe. What do you think this is? I don't know what you think this is. Yeah, obviously people unsubscribe from my channel. They unsubscribe from a lot of channels every day. So there you have it. So yeah, if you don't believe me, if you want to come at me saying I don't know what I'm talking about, you just go on about your day, friend. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. I am the most loving, kind, generous, happy person. I'm out here for good reasons and good reasons only. If you've not made sense of my videos and understand completely what my message has been up to this point and want to accuse me, yeah, you can just go. You can go because you're obviously uneducated or unaware, maybe I should say. You're not aware of everything that's happened and in the order which it's happened and all that. Sorry, I have spirit coming in already. I'm going to try this new drinky. So if you're going to come at me, make sure you have your facts right. So you know who you are. You made a comment. Well, you unsubscribed, so you may not even see this, but yeah. So I'm not going to get into defending myself because that's not what I do. My videos defend themselves. Go back in order, and then you're going to feel like an idiot for saying what you said to me. But good luck to you. Hasta la vista, baby. Okay. Today we are in part 3 of the Madeleine McCann case. This is that case from Portugal, British family, British doctors on vacation in Portugal with their little girl who was 3 and the twins who were about 2 years old. So Maddie disappeared from the apartment in Portugal while mom and dad were at dinner with their other friends. Go back and watch the last 2 videos to get fully caught up on this case. It's confusing. It's extensive. It's not been solved. There's been no body. Apparently someone's been arrested. Apparently a German man. I only read that in a comment, one of my comments, but I haven't come across that. So I haven't read any more of this article. I only read it when I'm here with you guys. So up to now, we've read up through page 4. So I'm going to continue now on page 5. This is an article from the internet. It's from Wikipedia. It's Disappearance of Madeleine McCann. trying to see a date. I don't see a date on here. But anyway, this is what I'm reading from, and this is all I know, really. But go back and watch those last 2 videos so you can find out where I'm at. What do I know? What do I not know? There's a lot I don't know, okay? All right, let's continue. Oops, dirty glasses. Can't see with dirty glasses. All right, so this section is under First Portuguese Inquiry, 2007-2008. I'm going to continue reading from right here. All right. There was nothing to link Murat or his friends to the disappearance, and Murat's status was lifted on July 21st, 2008, when the case was archived. In April of 2008, he received £600,000 in an out-of-court settlement. Wow, so he sued because of that. That's interesting. The Observer said was the largest number of separate libel actions brought in the UK by the same person in relation to one issue. His friends received £100,000 each. In July 2014, during Operation Grange, one of those friends was questioned again as a witness, this time by the PJ police on behalf of Scotland Yard. In December that year, Murat and his wife were questioned also on behalf of Scotland Yard, along with 8 others. In 2017, Murat's mother added her voice to those who had witnessed suspicious events around the apartment 5A that night in Portugal. She told the BBC that she had driven past apartment 5A that night and had seen a young woman in a plum-colored top behaving suspiciously just outside. Information, she said, she passed to the police at the time. She also said she had seen a small brown rental car speeding toward the apartment, driving the wrong way down a one-way street. All right. Okay, the next section is called Witness Statements. In statements to the PJ, witnesses described men behaving oddly near apartment 5A. Again, apartment 5A is where Maddie had been staying with her family. In the days before the disappearance and on the day itself, Scotland Yard came to believe that these men may have been engaged in reconnaissance for an abduction or burglary. There had been a 4-fold increase in burglaries between January and May 2007, including 2 of the McCann's block in the 17 days before the disappearance, during which burglars had entered through the windows. Now, this is important to me because, remember, I'm honest with you guys, okay? I haven't read this, even though it was right here. I didn't read it. I stopped right here where I stopped. I haven't read this. But this right here, and here comes Spirit. Spirit's coming in right now. This, what I just read, goes along with the video I just did. Did I do it yesterday when I was driving home? Where I said Spirit shows me there's other shenanigans that go on at this resort place in Portugal. It's like this place was clearly unsafe. Why did these families stay there anyway? Anyway, okay, this goes along with what Spirit showed me that I just told you yesterday. Obviously, this information's been out for a long time. Sure, Audrey, you just cheat and read it. I got other other shit to do than to sit here and lie to you or anybody else, okay? I got a life. I got a life, and I don't spend it lying, okay? Jesus. Several witnesses reported men collecting for charity. On April 20th, a bedraggled looking man, so is that what, like a homeless looking man, asked a tourist in her apartment near 5A for money for an orphanage in nearby Espiche. Espiche must be a town or something, a village. Apparently, there were no orphanages or similar in or near Espiche at the time. The witness described the man as pushy and intimidating. On the 25th or 26th of April, the tourist who rented apartment 5A before the McCanns found a man on his balcony who had entered via the steps from the street. Polite and clean-shaven, the visitor asked for money for an orphanage. On the day of the disappearance, May 3rd, there were 4 charity collections by 2 men in the streets around apartment 5A. At 4 p.m., 2 black-haired men approached a British homeowner looking for funds for a hostel or hospice in or near Espiche. And at 5 p.m., 2 men approached another British tourist with a similar story. You know, you go to these countries as Americans. I mean, these people we're talking about are British, but it's so disappointing. It's so disappointing when you travel around the world. You want to help these countries with their travel industry by giving them your money, by paying for a hotel or apartment and food and travel and sightseeing and museums and all these things we love to see about your amazing countries, only to deal with the same riffraff that we have here. This is riffraff. This is honestly, okay, here, Spirit's still here. I'm not sure who this is yet, but hold on. In Paris, I'm not saying you should never go to Paris. Paris is crazy amazing. I've been there several times. But there's people crapping on the streets in front of you. And they do the same thing. They beg you for money. Oh, my baby. Oh, my baby needs money. Oh, my. Just stop. These nutty people, these people begging for money, they're like gypsies, they're like, I don't know what they are. But it's out of control to the point where it's not enjoyable. Now, my point in saying this to you is this place, this resort where the English family went for vacation already knew this, and that was told to me by Spirit. They knew about the riffraff gypsies or homeless or whatever they would be called or considered in Portugal. They knew about them. Now, why, knowing about these riffraff people hanging around everywhere, why would you leave your babies alone? Knowing these people are in and out, trying to constantly take things, burglarize, steal money, beg for money. It just doesn't sit right with me. Again, it makes me feel like the parents have been neglectful. I mean, I'm not saying this Portuguese city is riffraff. Oh. Okay, trying for the 3rd time. Sorry, Benjamin, my son, called me. My 2 laptops made it to Vermont. He is there working on them, as well as my daughter's ex-partner. They're all very smart engineers, and they're basically laughing at me for spilling my coffee on the one computer. So anyway, they wanted, I don't know why they needed me on the phone. I didn't understand a word they were saying. Just please fix it, you guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so back to this important case. So yeah, why would you leave your kids for even 5 minutes in a place where you know there's transients or beggars, whatever the word is? I'm really not trying to say anything bad about Portugal at all. I have a lot of Portuguese blood in me, come to find out, when I did my DNA. So, and I do hope I can go there someday. I would love to go there. I haven't been there. So, please understand, I'm not trying to dog the country or anything like that. What I'm basically saying is I'm bringing up some points of, if this stuff goes on around this resort, why would you leave your kids? I mean, honestly, you probably shouldn't even stay there if you have kids anyway, and stay with your kids for 24/7 like you should. Still doesn't mean it's safe for your children. Because if there's people trying to kidnap for child exchanging and sex workers or all that stuff, if they want your kid, they're going to find a way to get your kid. But something still isn't sitting right. So let me find where I left off and we can continue from there. Okay, paragraph 3 of witness statements. An ugly, in quotations, an ugly blonde-haired man was seen on May 2nd across the road from apartment 5A, apparently watching it. Okay, who says this? Who said this? He had also been seen on April 29th near the Oceans Club. On the 30th of April, the granddaughter of apartment 5A's former owners saw a blonde-haired man leaning against a wall behind the apartments, and saw him again on May 2nd near the Tapas restaurant, looking at apartment 5A. So we've got a stranger guy, unattractive, blonde hair, hanging around. She described him as Caucasian, mid-30s, with short cropped hair, and ugly with spots. Real attractive. I don't know what that means. On or before the day of the disappearance, a man was seen staring at the McCann's block where a white van was parked. In the late afternoon of May the 3rd, a girl on the balcony of the apartment above 5A saw a man leave through the gate below as though he had come out of the ground floor apartment. What caught her attention was that he looked around before shutting the gate quietly with both hands. Closed the gate with both hands. At 2:30, 2 blonde-haired men were seen on the balcony of 5C, apartment 5C, an empty apartment 2 doors from 5A. From 16 to 1700 hours, a blonde-haired man was seen near 5A. At 1800 hours, the same or another blonde-haired man was seen in the stairwell of the McCann's block. At 2300 hours after the disappearance, 2 blonde-haired men were seen in a nearby street speaking in raised voices. When they realized they had been noticed, they reportedly lowered their voices and walked away. See, and this is what I said in a couple videos ago, where this resort is just filled with scumbags. Scumbags. Can anyone tell me down in the comments Can anyone tell me if this was the first time this family stayed in this resort or not? If you know, can you put that down in the comments? That would be helpful for me. Okay, now this says McCanns are suspicious. They're suspects now. The first indication that the media were turning against the McCanns came on June 6, 2007, when a German journalist asked them during a Berlin press conference whether they were involved in the disappearance. On June 30th, a 3,000-word article entitled, quote, "The Madeleine Case, a Pack of Silence," end quote, appeared in a weekly newspaper stating that the McCanns were suspects, highlighting alleged inconsistencies between their statements and implying that the Tanner sighting had been invented. And I would have to agree with all that. We read through that, and yeah, they seem suspicious. The Tanner story seems suspicious. All of this seems suspicious. This and later articles in the Portuguese press invariably followed up in the UK made several allegations based on no evidence, which would engulf the McCanns for years on social media. They included that the McCanns and Tappa 7 were swingers. So swingers, people that couples interchange partners and they all have sex together and swap for, can I say sex on YouTube? Well, I just did, but you know what I'm saying. The McCanns had been sedating their children. Okay, this is what someone's reporting, that the McCanns sedate the kids in order for them to go off having their swingers time together. And that the group had formed a pact of silence regarding what had happened on the night of the disappearance. Much was made of apparent inconsistencies within and between the McCanns and Tappa 7 statements. The police had asked the group questions in Portuguese, and an interpreter had translated the replies. According to Kate, the statements were then typed up in Portuguese and verbally translated back to English for the interviewees to sign. A lot can be lost in translation. It's just, Among the inconsistencies was whether the McCanns had entered the apartment by the front or the back door when checking on the children. According to the police case file, Jerry stated during his first interview on May 4th, 2007, that the couple had entered apartment 5A through the locked front door for his 9:05 and mom's 10 o'clock checks. And in a second interview on May 10th, he had entered through the unlocked patio doors in the back. Yeah, that's not okay. That's not okay that he got messed up there, because this, as bad as our memories are as humans, and we're busy and trauma happening, that's not a memory. That's not an event that you could get wrong. That's not something that you would easily get wrong when asked a few days later, front door or back door. That's a big difference. That's, okay. The patio doors could be unlocked only from inside, so the parents had left them unlocked to let themselves in. There was also an inconsistency about whether the front door had been locked. Well, we knew it was unlocked. Jerry told the Sunday Times in December 2007 that they had used the front door earlier in the week, but it was next to the children's bedroom, so they had started using the patio doors instead. Okay, so if they had been using the back door and he said front door, they've been crisscrossing. So I could see how that could be conveyed inconsistent with the dad explaining, because he probably was getting his days mixed up and stuff. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that. Just that one. The police also questioned why and when Kate discovered Madeleine was missing. She had run to the tapas restaurant, leaving the twins alone. That's bizarre, right? I was wondering about that. And also when Mom's running away screaming that Madeleine had been taken or kidnapped. How do you know? Madeleine could have gone down to the pool. She could be face up or face down in the pool somewhere, lady. I don't know why. Kate discovered, okay, let me go back. The police also questioned why, when Kate discovered Madeleine was missing, she had run to the tapas restaurant, leaving the twins alone, when she could have used her cell phone or shouted to the group from the apartment's rear balcony. Fishy, fishy, fishy. Another issue was whether the exterior shutter over Madeleine's bedroom window could be opened from outside. Okay. I'm getting images here in my mind. I felt spirit for a split second, but then it left. According to journalist Danny Collins, the shutter was made of non-ferrous, I don't know what that means, non-ferrous metal slats on a roller blind that was housed in a box at the top of the inside window, controlled by pulling on a strap. Once rolled down, the slats locked in place outside the window and could be raised only by using the strap on the inside. Kate said the shutter and the window were closed when Madeleine was put to bed, but open when she discovered Madeleine was missing. Jerry told police that when he was first alerted to the disappearance, he had lowered the shutter, then had gone outside and discovered that it could be raised only from the outside. Against this, Portuguese police said the shutter could not be raised from the outside without being forced. But there was no sign of forced entry. They also said forcing the shutter open would have caused a lot of noise. But the door's open! You don't think they could have been running in, doing different things here and there and everywhere? These people are focusing on really not the things they should be focusing on. The apparent discrepancies contributed to the view of the police that it had not been an abduction. Okay, that doesn't make sense to me. But basically, okay, the police are saying it was not an abduction. Okay. Kate's shout of, "They've taken her," was viewed as suspicion. Exactly. Because that's suspicious. That's fishy. You don't say that. She's been taken. If that was me, I'd be like, oh my God. Start screaming the name. Where are you? You know, she's missing. I don't know where she's at. I can't find her. Where did she go? So I wouldn't yell out screaming, she's been taken. That just doesn't make any sense. This feels a little bit like the little beauty queen from Colorado that was murdered. As though she had been trying to lend credence to a false abduction story. Exactly. Particularly from August onwards, these suspicions developed. Make sure you get all the words right. Developed into the theory that Madeleine had died in apartment 5A as a result of an accident, perhaps after being sedated to help her stay asleep. Okay, well, yeah, the Benadryl could be the sedating drug. And that her parents had hidden her body for a month before retrieving her and driving her to an unknown place in a car they had hired over 3 weeks after the disappearance. In 2010, Carlos Anjos, former head of the Police Detectives Union in Portugal, told the BBC program that most Portuguese investigators still believed Madeleine had died as a result of an accident in the apartment. But why? What evidence is there of that? Show me, tell me, what evidence? What evidence? Were there things knocked over? Was there empty Benadryl bottle? Was there a dent in the wall or blood on the corner of a table? Or did dad or mom have scratches on them or something? I mean, they're not giving, so far, they're not giving much information at all. They're giving a lot of fluff. There's a lot of chaos. A lot of chaos. Portugal sends a letter of rogatory. On June 28, 2007, the McCann suggested to the police that the police request help from Danny Krugel, a South African former police officer who had developed a, quote, matter orientation system, unquote. A handheld device that he claimed could locate missing people using DNA satellites. That's cool. On hearing about this years later, one scientist said it had caused his BS detector to go off the scale. Okay. Kate wrote in 2011 that Krugel's claim made no sense, but the couple were desperate. In the second week of June, they sent Krugel hair and eyelashes collected from Madeleine's collected from the McCann family home by relatives in the UK. Krugel arrived in Praia da Luz on July 15th and told the McCanns his equipment had picked up a static signal, in an area of the beach near Roca Negra Cliff. The officer in charge of the police inquiry, Inspector Gonçalo Amaral, interpreted Kate's support of Krugel as a ploy. By this point, he believed the McCanns were involved in the disappearance and that Kate was using Krugel. She had also considered using psychics to disclose the location of her daughter's body without compromising herself. With this in mind, the police sent a letter to the British police to ask for assistance in their search for Madeleine's body. In response, Mark Harrison, the National Search Advisor for the NPIA, arrived in Praia da Luz, walked around the search areas, and flew over them by helicopter. Describing Krugel's ideas as highly unlikely, Harrison reported, dated July 23, 2007, said that 100 officers had searched up to 9.3 miles around Praia da Luz, but that the officer in charge and most of the team had no training in search procedures, with the exception of a search and rescue team from Lisbon. Search dogs had been used, but after 5 days instead of within 2 days, as the handlers recommend. That's right, the first 48 crucial minutes, hours. Harrison suggested searching the beach and shoreline, an open area near the village, Robert Murat's property apartment 5A, the Tapas 7's apartment, and any hired vehicles he recommended using ground penetrating radar and bringing in Keela and Eddie, 2 Springer Spaniel sniffer dogs from South Yorkshire. This is just a freaking mess. This is just an absolute... I'm not saying the U.S. is much better, but we are as far as crime scenes and stuff. This is just off. This whole thing's just it's a ridiculous joke. I mean, I've never seen in real life or on TV or film such ridiculousness in a murder case or disappearance case, I should say, missing persons case. It's a lot of nothing. It's a lot of suspicion. It's a lot of no evidence. It's a lot of a lot. But I'm going to stop it there for now. Again, I'm not going to continue reading, but we'll leave it there for now. I'll see you guys soon. My husband's listening to the Vallow trial. I'm kind of in and out of listening to that. But I'm very familiar with that case, so I might be reporting on that. My husband really wants me to talk about the stepmom case with the little boy. That's kind of on my back burner for now. I'm sorry. No offense to the deceased. I'm sorry. In fact, hold on a second. Spirit, you have bad timing sometimes. I'm just saying. All right. So I may be looking into that sooner rather than later because I got some spirits who are chit-chatting with me, but I'll figure out who this is. But I think I know who it is. Anyway, again, stay on the channel if you want to. If you don't find me enjoyable, leave. The door is always open for you to go, okay? Again, you don't have to believe what I'm saying, but have an open mind. And you don't need to be offensive. You don't need to be offensive about it. You know, if I go, I could go on a YouTube site of something I have no knowledge about and something maybe religious that I don't believe in. I don't go and do that and just say a bunch of garbage to the person who's submitting their content. Just, you know what? Fine. Get a hobby. Get a hobby if that's something you find yourself doing, going around spreading hate and bad vibrations and bad energy. You need to check yourself. But I know my friends here on YouTube, you guys are the real deal, and you've stuck with me, and I appreciate you for coming back to the new YouTube channel. And I'll see you guys soon, and have a great weekend. But I'll see you this weekend. I'll see you soon. Okay, bye. Ciao.